Most beginner walk cycle animations have the exact same problem. The weird part is most beginner animators don't even realize they're doing it. So in this video, I'm going to show you the walk cycle rules every animator should know. Walk cycle rule number 1, weight transfer. One of the biggest reasons beginner walk cycles feel strange is because the character never actually shifts their weight. Instead, they just move their legs back and forth. But real walking is not just legs moving. When you walk, your body weight constantly moves from one leg to the other. Left foot, left foot, right foot. Every time one foot takes the weight, the body has to balance over that leg. If the body stays perfectly centered the whole time though, the walk starts looking floaty. Almost like the character is sliding instead of stepping. So, when you're animating a walk cycle, don't only think about the feet. Think about where the character's weight is. When the left foot is being held up by the body should feel like it's being supported by that left side. Vice versa. That small shift makes the character feel like they're actually standing on the ground. And once you understand weight transfer, your walk cycles stop looking like floating legs and start turning into a real character moving through space. Walk cycle rule number 2, contact pose. The contact pose is a moment where the front of the foot touches the ground. This is one of the most important poses in a walk cycle. A lot of beginners make the foot land flat immediately, but that usually makes the step feel stiff. In a normal walk, the heel usually touches first, then the foot rolls onto the ground. So, instead of the foot instantly appearing flat, think of it like this. Heel touches, foot rolls, and then the body moves over the foot. That tiny detail makes the step feel much more natural. But the back foot is also important. While the front heel is touching down, the back foot is usually pushing off the ground. That means one foot is arriving while the other one is leaving. But if both feet feel dead or flat at the same time, the walk loses energy. So when you're animating the contact pose, show the front of the foot reaching down forward and the back of the foot pushing away. That makes the walk feel like it has a direction. And once you understand your contact pose looks right, the whole walk cycle becomes easier to understand. Walk cycle rule number 3, passing pose. The passing pose is when one leg passes the other. This is where a lot of beginner walk cycles start breaking. The leg either swings too far, doesn't lift enough, or passes in a way that feels robotic. But you see, in a normal walk, the leg doesn't just teleport forward. It lifts, it passes the standing leg, then it reaches for next contact pose. The standing leg is holding the weight while the other one moves forward. That means the passing pose should feel balanced. If the moving leg is too low, the character can look like they're dragging their foot. If the moving leg is too high, the walk can look like they're marching. So, the goal is to not make their leg huge and dramatic every time. The leg should pass naturally, the foot should clear the ground, and the body should still feel balanced over the standing leg. And once you understand the passing pose, the walk cycle stops feeling like random leg poses and starts feeling like one smooth step after another. Walk cycle rule number 4, body bounce. No, not like that. What I mean is a beginner mistake is keeping the body perfectly level. The head stays at the same height, the chest stays at the same height, the body just slides forward. But real walking has a small up and down motion. Not huge, not like the character is jumping, just enough to show that the body is reacting to the steps. When the weight drops onto the foot, the body can slightly go down. When the leg pushes, the body can rise slightly up. That small bounce gives the walk weight. If there's no bounce at all though, the character can look like they're floating. But if there's too much bounce, the character starts looking like they're hopping. So, keep it barely there. For a normal walk, the head should move a little, not a lot. And once you add that small up and down motion, the walk feels less mechanical and more alive. Walk cycle rule number 5, Arms and body. The legs are important, but the rest of the body cannot be frozen. When people walk, their arms usually swing opposite of the legs. If the left leg goes forward, the right arm usually goes forward. If the right leg goes forward, the left arm usually goes forward. This helps the body balance. A lot of beginner animators, though, either forget the arms completely or make them swing too much. If the arms barely move, the character can feel stiff. But if the arms swing like crazy, the walk can feel goofy or exaggerated. A tired walk might have heavier, slow arms. The body can also slightly lean depending on the personality. Although a happy walk might feel lighter. A mad walk might feel heavier. A sneaky walk might stay lower though. Once the legs, body, head, and arms all work together, the walk stops looking like a loop and starts feeling like an actual character. But learning walk cycles is only one piece of animation. And even when you understand the fundamentals, animation still takes a huge amount of time. So, that's one of the reasons why I started building an app called Diamond Animator. It's an AI-powered animation tool that I'm working on that's designed to help speed up the parts of the animation process and make creating animations easier. But I'm still building my app though. But my goal is to have the first beta users trying out that system as early as fall 2026. So, if you want future animation videos, tutorials, Diamond Animator updates, and a chance to become one of the first beta users this fall, make sure you subscribe and stay notified.